your accuracy is 40%. Risk reward is like 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Your stock selection is amazing. 2 ways to go about it. Increasing instead of having 1, 2 attempts, because your stock selection is good, just wait for a confirmation. I think the only thing you should incorporate is not much later. If it's below VWAP by 9:45 or 10, a big boost. And you're already doing amazing. You said it's your record month.
Well, not ever, just in like I don't know.
Oh, you had prior to this, you had a bigger win.
Yeah, last year sometime. Probably June. MLGO in June was a big.
Do you still wait? I don't think you do the below VWAP stuff anymore. What have you changed when it spikes? Like, how do you enter now? Or right off the open, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I usually just it kind of depends on what the chart structure is like. Sometimes I'm just risking the pre-market high, depending on what it depends on like the chart structure pre-market. If it's opening and breaks over pre-market, then I'm just risking like a percent spike. Or it depends on the stock too, right? Like if it's
Stocks price action.
if it's like, for example, what was it? IMNN. There was some very specific examples I was looking at where the stock kind of created a top very early in the morning. So I was just looking for it to come break high day, right? And then get in on the rejection. And then because I wasn't really anticipating it, I would be wrong if it came back up again and tried to break high day a third time. So I was basically just risking high day. So it also depends if I'm incorporating like past but yeah, like but then aside from that, I kind of just do what I do, which is like after there's some structure and it breaks trend, then I just risk high day.
Yeah, mapping you're putting on the risk as it's spiking or near it because your stock selection. Do you want to create a positive reinforcement? The stocks that are like a 10 something, if it's below VWAP and it has some sort of structure, even if it's like let's say 9:30 pushes off and then it's like a little microscope, 9:45, 10, you want to put on another one risk or that. Do you want to, what kind of goal do you want to have if you do this consistently?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll say that the main thing I really want to do though is I mean, because one thing that I have been doing is I've been posting like if I do think something's like an A setup, then unless it just fails out the gate, like I should be risking it at least 2. If it's an A setup, it's got to be a B, that's like I'd say that's like the number one thing I want to do because that's really the best way to scale is to take advantage of like the really good setups. And I haven't been doing a great job at that.
You are improving. When did you switch from
I mean, it's been a while that I've been doing that, but like I've been saying, a lot of times it doesn't end up being that because
I know.
of like what I said
It's okay.
earlier.
At least you're still taking profits. Whatever. How long? What's the period? Is it like 1 month that you're moving?
I mean, it's been look back through my recap channels a while ago that I switched, that I basically had only the 1R button.
You posted in your recap room that I no longer have a Trevor.
Yeah, somewhere back in my recap. I mean, it was many months ago.
Watching the same thing.
You can pause the recording if you want to go through like specific.
You do that.
That's how.
OBS. Is there a pause button?
Oh, you're doing it on Discord? Oh, that's OBS. Yeah, I use Loom.
BDXC was in.
I probably didn't use the hot button on that. Was it a pre-market trade?
It says you risk 0.3R and then 0.5. And like always, like a timing.
Yeah, well, okay, that one was. Yeah, I think it was a good trade because I knew that they were going to announce the reverse split after hours and it faded more. But other than that, I mean, you never see me take out.
This also says
that was the. Yeah, so on these out the gate ones, I haven't been using the hot button to a fault.
This is where psychology goes. Be like, you would never use nothing less than a point, less than a 1 hour.
That's because I'm not using the button.
But you should. That's one of your goals. Yeah, off the open.
Yeah,
off the open, you have to.
Well, that was I mean, the thing was that because I'm doing it more often now, I guess wasn't as like comfortable with it, but I've been doing a lot more. So
even this, you're probably
that one. Well, that one I was down 2R out the gate.
Oh, this one you risked?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. That was yeah, it was a hot key pre-market, right? And then a hot button after it opened.
Pre-market high. I think it's a valid setup of it.
Yeah,
I like.
yeah.
I don't know.
But then yeah.
So I'm going back trying to find. It looks like you're consistently been using 0.5. So I don't know if the reason I was looking through is whether your brain has adjusted to risking 1 hour, because on the May there's so many examples of errors. So your brain's just not used to it. So you gotta. I would personally say stick to the automation that you're doing, which is this one is hot button or no?
Yeah, I think what something that got me in the habit was using hotkeys pre-market, and then when the market opened, I was just kind of like kept with it, you know? But I think you're right though. If I just stick to the buttons, that'll solve a couple problems. That'll solve the problem of the undersizing, and that'll solve the problem of prematurely moving my stop. Because when I'm using the hot button, I usually will use a wide stop, right? And it sets it automatically. I guess that's one thing that if say we want to focus on like one main adjustment that everything should be done using the button. That's something one goal I could try to stick to for the next month or so.
I think that, and then also try to have a second entry one in here, risking versus this, because this is very basic. But you've deviated away from it, using hot buttons, not using hot buttons, but most of the times you have been using it. Correct. I'm pretty sure that's correct. The statement, right?
Oh yeah, I would say that I when I do use it, it's uh when it's like an under VWAP setup, when I kind of know that I'm risking high a day, it's kind of easy for me to say, oh, I'm risking high a day, and then click the button. I guess the reason why I don't do it out the gate is because
It's tough.
I'm kind of not. Yeah, I kind of haven't really defined always exactly what I'm risking, so that's why I'll tap the hotkey and be like, okay, well, I'm generally risking this area, which is kind of a problem, I guess. It's good when I have a very clear risk in mind, even out the gate, even when there isn't a clear risk. Like if I'm definitively saying, okay, I'm risking 30%, or I'm definitively risking pre-market high, that would definitely be better too, because that would, one, I could use the hot button and not undersize, and two, uh, it wouldn't guarantee that I wouldn't intervene with it, but that's just something I'd have to work on. But at least make it so that I have a stop. I press the button, it sets a stop, and I should just try to leave it alone.
And my honest opinion, one thing that bothers the shit out of me.
Oh, see, that's what exactly what I'm talking about. That's a premature stop.
No, but you
That's
got it. You can't risk VWAP. Risk high the day.
I wasn't risking VWAP. I was risking high a day, and then I moved it.
Because you're manually.
I can't remember why. Does it say in my note why I moved it?
Well, I don't need to look at your notes because I know you manually entered. If you had a hot stop, your stop would be there. These are manual.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious what I said though.
Messed this one up. Originally was risking high today, cut prematurely, which was into, but second entry I also prematurely probably shouldn't be covering earlier the reverse split warrant, but I'm a little worn out.
Yeah, so I think that one so that one was actually a hot button. I just intervened. I just fucked about just by stepping in. Oh yeah, I guess it was.
This versus the 206 or was this risk. This is the consistent thing. Consistency here is alright. But bro, I've seen a lot of, and I'm like, give it another try. The high of the day is 27. This is chasing. But versus this, what are the no? I mean, it's not good to stop out, but even if you're stopped out, because you're all of your charts that you trade. Imagine I don't even look at your fade. I'm just keeping up accuracy number total in my head. There's been like one non-fade fade. So out of like 20 charts, this is one.
Well, also, I mean, the other thing is it's also kind of just the market too, though.
And so you risk here, risk this. You don't need to do
Yeah.
all of this. Okay,
Yeah.
you get stop hunted, no problem. You stop hunted, you get back in. How many times have the stop not failed and we have exceeded? Still fade at the end of the sword. Like I'm saying, even if it pushes a little bit, stop hunts, cuts back in.
Yeah.
So this is the second one. Second fade, third. Sorry, 3 non-faders.
That one, I didn't touch that one. That one, I tried to short the offering.
Okay, so this doesn't include
And the Chinese guys trapped me.
Yeah, no. I mean, so that means you avoid it. That's your stock selection is 4 or 3 non-faders.
All right, so what should I do then? Just short the open and risk 30%?
As stupid as that sounds, find a variable, but definitely risk high today. Don't do this micro.
Yeah, that for sure.
This one you avoided the open, so you're still at accurate.
Well, that one was that was one of my rare afternoon boredom trades. I wasn't even watching that one.
So we're still at 3 so far that have not faded. This I would consider as a fade because it's like push off the open. It invalidates structure here. So you could short this, you could short this. So your stock selection still.
What is that? NOAOV.
So we have JJ. I've done this before by myself, just so you know. So we're at 4 for you non-faders. I think for sure we have, and you didn't short the open off this. The same thing. These micro pops and fade I don't count because they just put better opportunity. And you did a really good job here. This is a perfect how it should be. Stop out. I would use this as a stop, but whatever. You enter here. So we're at 3, I believe. Okay, there we go. This is 4. 4.
No, those were that was the I remember this day. Everything is spiking.
But I hope you get the gist of it. Oh, this hurts.
Yeah.
I've seen so much of this.
Yeah, that was what's everybody else doing? It's not a holiday for anybody else.
I mean, yeah, think about it, bro. As I said, your accuracy is good, but you also have a valid point. What do you suggest? So we have option 1, where our goal is to add below VWAP. To add below VWAP.
I think just making sure that I'm always using the hot button probably one of the best solutions that addresses a few things. That's assuming I don't touch it, and that just needs to be something I need to commit to, is not fiddling with it after I've already gotten in.
Without going into the whole, go to your desk, log in, and then hotkeys.
Except for my
except for what?
Cover all.
Cover all, or I have I used to have a bow one full.
You know what? Maybe I should get rid of that one too, actually. I'm just trying to think of a reason why I would need it.
You don't need it. But make a hot button that says cover 1 forward.
Well, that's the thing, is that is part of the problem with covering prematurely, is the hot button.
No, you're stopping out. Oh, I see. When it's in the profit and the money?
Both. When it's not in the money, if it hasn't reached my stop yet, I get a little antsy and I'll hit that button because it's so easy to hit just to get out. Maybe I should just delete it.
Go hard.
I mean, go hard. I'm just trying to think of the reason why I would need it. Like,
well, how are you gonna cover into the close?
That's the thing, is that if the only reason why I would need a button is if I'm like,
okay, so what I used to have is
well, that's my cover all button, but
does that like mark it out, or is it ask plus certain term?
It asks plus an offset.
But that was a market button. But I mean, it gives you slippage, right? Yeah. But no, it's probably the
I just can't think of a reason why I actually trying to think of if I've ever actually used it and not covered prematurely with it. Because if I wasn't covering prematurely, I could easily just, well, 1, I already have the stop is already set from the button, right? And then 2, if I'm actually patient letting in my target, well, 1, I should be covering. I don't need a hot button for it.
Do it. We're fixing a lot of deep-rooted issues in a few minutes.
All right, they're gone.
Awesome. Congratulations. Make sure you save it. Save that layout. Save the hotkey, hot button. Put it in new chapter. Yeah.
The last layout I saved was just.
And the other thing, just make sure you do, if it's below VWAP by 10, inshallah, I have a strong feeling if the market's not really, summertime is really, but if the market has some range this month, if you add below VWAP, only below VWAP at 10, not at the level, risk the high of the day. I feel like it's
turning over a new leaf.
I was gonna say pimple, but I don't want to discuss to you, but also I haven't done that. I don't think I've ever did.
Done what? I noticed you're trading a lot more lately. What's going on there? You haven't traded small caps in forever, and then now I'm seeing you shorting the same crap that we are. Why you're shorting small caps? That's a big secret? Really? Okay. No worries. Keep that to yourself.
JJ is like, I worked too hard. I've done a lot of projects recently. Not trying to die.
You're being like Shia. You have some secret edge that you're not telling us about.
Oh, hell no.
No worries.
Bro, am I the type of guy that withholds edge? Do you actually seem that way or no? Be honest.
No, I didn't even know you were trading shit until recently.
No, that's the secret.
You're paper trading?
This is my 4th attempt at a quant. I've tried it.
And that's why you're so those executions is an algo?
I'm trying to make mine. They're not algo. They're mine in conjunction with algo. I've just failed so many times, bro. I have. Yeah.
You didn't hear LX21's little spiel on edge erosion? Did you stick around for that?
I didn't. I think a lot of people that are veteran traders, but the edge people are afraid of it, so I'm not. But what I took away from what he said is, even if he tells 50 to 80.
He said he actually brought up something interesting was that it actually might make it better for him because other people are kind of fucking it up because they're giving him better entries, you know?
But I think if
I mean, it's possible if people are shorting, I don't know, prematurely, and then it's giving him a better entry. But yeah, I mean, he said for the most part he didn't think it mattered. He just said that like if he's worried about the really smart big pocket guys that come in and try to like take his strategy and make it their own. He's not really worried about the 100 retail traders that don't know how to do anything with the strategy.
they will always find a way. If somebody is making, if there's like 4 or 5, which is crazy, crazy. Like I know they have other acquisitions. You know, there's dominant people. There's a handful of 4 or 5 dominant people that, so they will always find a way. Whether it's push, spike up, becomes 45%, it will always fluctuate. There'll be a period that open print and 30% stop gets hit. They're really understanding where does the money. There's liquidity grab spot situations where, you know, at a certain liquidity, there's 2 liquidity event that happens, or it's a third leg, whatever.
I mean, honestly, I forget who I was talking about this with, but I think Abel, we were talking about we were on voice and we were talking, do we think, you know, we see a lot of traders complaining on Twitter. They're like, oh, shit's like super hard now. Like, I don't really, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen anything really change in like all the years I've been doing this. You have certain periods of time where shit's hard as fuck, and then you have certain periods of time where it's easy money. Like it was actually funny. I found an old folder of my charts from like 2016, 2017. I still see the same bullshit trap action because I kept I saved all the ones that I got fucked up on. I was like, dude, this shit looks exactly like IMNN just yesterday, and this shit was fucking 10 years ago. It's like still the same games, still like I don't know. I don't think there's a lot more volume, I guess, but I think it's still the same patterns, still the same
Maybe I'm
shit.
very close-minded, but edge erosion and small cap. Whenever somebody says something like that, I just kind of dismiss it, even though I don't say it verbally, because why does gap and crap work? It's dilution. The fuck you mean my setup doesn't work, gap and crap doesn't work, it doesn't fade? The company will go bankrupt if it doesn't fade. It's like the spine of small cap. Am I wrong in here? Help me understand. Give me some honest criticism.
Yeah, no, I was saying I agree with you. That was my whole point of like what we were talking about was that we didn't think anything really changed other than the volume. And even if the volume changed, the patterns are still the same. You still get the same cycles,
It will
same
always
shot,
be sure. Yeah, the
same
patch.
easy action. That's just how it is.
It's they say it's the second oldest China remain religion. The first one's prostitution, the second stock market. So there's nothing will change. It's all the same. Fake push out, rig stock. You realize it's rig stock, leave it alone, or just try to grab the reverse liquidity spots, right? Look for the liquidity events. You know, dilution is coming. The freaking IMNN, bro. I thought it would have no offer. I got smoked on it after.
On the long.
Yeah, because I was like, there's no offering could come, and rightfully so, because I was like,
Especially on Friday after they kind of got people where they wanted. Why wouldn't they just announce it on Monday and let it like gap up?
But I think the reason is because they probably already placed and they pressured them to
I guess
sit up,
maybe they just didn't think there was enough liquidity, so they took it into that.
or they had too much risk on. That's usually ironic. We're saying nothing changes, nothing changes. Fundamentally, an offering comes on Friday because they used to not do many offerings on Fridays.
That's true, especially
The
after.
hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is real. Yo, Edge is gone. F, forget trading.
I remember I was talking to this one guy and like we're talking about, oh, is there gonna be an offering on ALUR or whatever? I was like, dude, it's fucking like, yeah, but it's Friday. Like the market's about to open. There's not gonna be an offering. They drop an offering the minute the market open. Yeah.
Oh, the minute. Yeah, that was weird too. I was like, during market open, like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, even on that other one that was just last week, I think CNSP, that was a little weird. They announced it like 5 minutes after the open.
Honestly, I am interested to figure it out, but I just don't. They're doing something very unique with this. I think that's their way of getting around, if I'm not mistaken.
How did that be?
But there's a lot, 400 to 600 million, lot, and I think the
I have a whole list of them. If you want me to send you the list, you can go look at them and stuff.
I longed a
It's
bunch. I was hoping
there's like, yeah, there's a lot of them. There's like 20 of them.
Okay,
The main thing is that they,
sorry, what's the fundamental play? How are they using? Because the OS is about like 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. It's very
so Pretty
They're
much
off.
what I believe they're doing is because a lot of the times like PSTV, STSS, PLRZ, nothing. It wasn't even like when the moves happened, like they weren't registered and they weren't even approved. So I suspect they're like establishing a decent sized short position, and then when it finally comes back down, they're probably making like at least their investment back. Their $10 million or whatever investment back on the short, maybe making a little bit more. And then they have 500 million warrants, and then they're selling those, and then profiting that way.
I think this kind of started when they announced the you can only, or am I just drawing red? I don't think it looks like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. They did kind of start appearing more around the split rule. So,
Split rule is scary, to be honest, because they can only, from my understanding, they can only do it once. But stomping llama is like somebody tell this company
well,
you can't reverse split every few months.
yeah. So what they're doing now, and we've already seen this with a few stocks, is they'll just split when the stock's at like $2, and they'll just split to sales. So they'll just split before it gets below $1, and you'll see more of those.
Oh,
So you'll see
I misunderstood the rule.
these tiny, you'll see these tiny split ratios where it's just like they'll just do like a 3-to-1 split. So let's say the stock's trading at like $2, they'll do a 3-to-1 split just proactively.
I apologize. I think I missed a big variable. So only for stocks less than $1, they can split once a year.
No, so the way it works is,
It's all for all stocks.
yeah. First of all, the company does now at this point with the new rule, they don't ever want to get under $1 and even get the warning in the first place. Because what happens is if they do dip below $1 and they get that warning, well, now yes, they can get a 6 months extension, and then they can get another 6-month extension. But after that, let's say they split after having been under $1 and they split to say $5. They cannot go below $1 or they'll get delisted immediately now. So now what they're doing is they're just going to make sure that they're splitting proactively before they even get close to $1. So what we're going to see is like there's going to be a lot less penny stocks, which is bad for me because that's like my best price bucket. But you're going to see a lot less under $1 stocks. Now, we're not going to start seeing this happen until probably like another like 6 months to a year, because the stocks that already got the warning before the rule took effect, they don't count that, right? So if let's say I got the initial sub-dollar warning in December, I still am subject to the old rules. So you're not subject to the new rules until you get until you get a warning, a delisting warning again. Now the new rules in place.
Okay, but taking a step back, all companies, they can only do reverse split once a year, correct? Or am I wrong?
No, they can do a split as many times as they want. That's the funny thing. That's what Llama was getting at, was that like they didn't really do anything. All they're doing is they're making companies split more proactively now.
So what's the rule about splitting? What's the law that was?
But now the rule is if you go under $1, you get 2 extension periods of 180 days, but that's it. And then if you use a split to get to regain compliance, you cannot fall under $1 again, or you'll be kicked to OTC immediately.
If you use a reverse split once you're under $1, use it the second time you're Vic. So the goal
You
is
can
eventually-
you can use it again, but the thing is you're gonna have to use it proactively before you dip under $1. Like you can't let your stock dip under $1 after you've already had the compliance period, after you've already had a reverse split. If you go under $1 after all that stuff, you'll get delisted. There's no warning, there's no letter or anything.
Is that once a year for the whole?
Yeah, actually I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if there's like a time thing.
That's critical thinking, Jeff. You want to ask Rook? I guess we can't really buy. Maybe we could buy companies that are low market cap, sub $1
to swing long.
Sub $1 and low market cap.
One thing I noticed is that I haven't seen it continuing, but for a while I was seeing a lot of sub-dollar stocks that were going to be splitting, actually spiking, because they don't want to split and be close to $1 already. Like if they're 10 cents and they're doing like a 20-to-1 split and they split and they're $2, they're already kind of like almost in danger again. If you guys made it so far, that means you liked it. Click subscribe. Let us know what we could do better. Take care. Thank you.